You'd expect the biggest LSD network on the planet to be hidden in a gritty warehouse in London, a basement in New York, or a dodgy backstreet lab in Amsterdam. It was none of those. It was tucked away in the sleepy, sheep-covered hills of rural West Wales, a place where the biggest drama is usually someone's prize leak at the village fete. Yet for years, this quiet corner was quietly pumping out around 60% of the world's acid. This is the story of Operation Julie, the legendary undercover sting that took down not one but two rival LSD empires in one glorious dawn raid on the 26th of March, 1977. 11 police forces, 800 officers, 120 arrests across Britain and France in a single morning. They seized enough pure LSD crystal to make 6.5 million trips. Street value in 1977, £100 million. Today, that's closing in on £1 billion. They also found £800,000 hidden in Swiss bank accounts, and an operation that had been hiding in plain sight, disguised as a hippie commune, with a dream that started out genuinely utopian. Because this whole thing didn't begin as organised crime. It started in Cambridge with two men who honestly believed LSD could bring about world peace. David Solomon, Californian writer, full-on bohemian, close friend and disciple of Timothy Leary, the high priest of acid himself. Richard Kemp, soft-spoken, brilliant Liverpool University chemist who could make LSD so pure it was practically pharmaceutical. Their mission in the beginning wasn't money, it was consciousness expansion on a global scale. Flood the world with clean acid, turn on enough minds, and war would become unthinkable. They saw themselves as revolutionary alchemists, not drug dealers. For a few golden years, the dream worked. Henry Todd handled sales and the business side. Leaf Fielding was the tabletting genius, turning raw crystal into perfect, precise doses. Money poured in, millions and millions. But the ideology was still in the driving seat. Then the money got too big. By 1973, the dream cracked right down the middle. Kemp became obsessed with purity. Every batch had to be flawless, almost sacred. Todd looked at the demand and just saw profit. More tabs, faster, cheaper. The partnership exploded. Instead of one network, suddenly there were two. Kemp and Solomon disappeared into the wilds of West Wales with Kemp's partner, Dr. Christine Bott, respected GP by day, prize-winning goat breeder, and secretly one of the finest underground chemists alive. Their new lab looked like any other stone cottage from the outside. Todd didn't blink. He recruited a new chemist, Andy Munro, and set up a rival operation near London. Two independent supply chains, same drug, totally opposite philosophies. The police had zero idea any of this existed, until one moment of pure dumb luck. April 1975. Kemp is driving his red Range Rover near Machynlleth. He crashes. A passenger in the other car dies. Detective Sergeant Dick Lee turns up, already suspicious of this suddenly wealthy hippie in the hills. In the wreckage, he finds 6 tiny, torn scraps of paper. When pieced together, they spell one thing: hydrazine hydrate, the smoking gun precursor for LSD. That scrap of paper launched Operation Julie, Britain's first ever national anti-drug squad. 28 officers from 10 forces were told, grow your hair, grow a beard, and disappear. They became hippies. One officer, Stephen Bentley, turned himself into Steve Jackson. Psychedelic painted transit van, 15 pints a day, screaming drunken abuse at the local constable, until the real dealers nicknamed him Cop Killer. Sheep ate the first set of bugs. Locals thought the undercover lads were a gay cult. until female officers were rushed in as fake girlfriends. It was freezing, farcical, and it worked. After 13 months of deep cover, they had everything. A hidden lab in the cellar of a remote mansion called Place Lissun. Water samples glowing with LSD. A dead frog and a dead mole pulled from the drains, both testing positive for pure acid. And 2 completely separate rock-solid cases. 26th March 1977. The raids. 87 addresses hit at dawn, 120 arrests, but the main stash was still missing. Until 8 months later, when they went back to Kemp's cottage, ripped up the kitchen floor, and found a plastic box buried under the aga. Inside, 1.3 kilograms of pure crystal. 6.5 million doses. 1978, Bristol Crown Court. 15 defendants. Combined sentences, 170 years. Kemp and Todd both got 13. Christine Bott got 9. The bitter joke in the dock. 9 years for making the sandwiches. Overnight, Britain lost 90% of its LSD supply. A single tab jumped from £1 to £5. Victory, right? Not quite. Take out the one supplier who was obsessed with purity and safety, and the vacuum gets filled by people who cut their acid with strychnine and speed. A lot of people argue the streets actually became more dangerous after Operation Julie. The undercover officers paid a brutal price: broken marriages, alcoholism, PTSD, and the revolutionary deep cover techniques they perfected never turned into a permanent national unit. That's Operation Julie. Not a simple triumph, not a tragedy, just the most human, most insane drugs bust in British history.